Okay, 6 in the slow motion one, go to 81 black.
3, 2, 1, let go.
That's right, baby. It's the big show. Welcome to Super Beard Bowl, the show where you vote and then the patrons vote. And at the end, we make 8 episodes of monthly mayhem. The next public vote is currently on your screen at home. But this month, it's Jirard Khalil in How Famous is Jirard? And it all starts right now. This month on Super Beard Bowl 5.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of How Famous is Jirard, the show in which I interview famous people that apparently know me. And let me tell you, I hate the name of it, but we're going to find out if I actually know someone who is famous eventually at some point. But today's guest...
It's not me.
Today, famous enough is, I guess, is where we're getting to the bottom of that barrel.
Yeah,
and unfortunately, you're at the
famous.
bottom.
Niche famous.
I apologize. Everyone, our guest today, you may know him as the man that loves PlayStation games. You may know him as the British version of Youngtown, formerly. Or maybe
still. I mean, I don't know.
No way. You've changed enough. You changed enough in my eyes. and
I upload just as frequently, though.
No,
I mean,
I think you're a bit faster. Maybe this year's
999.
But everyone, it's Caddicarus.
Hello, everybody.
Jim, how you doing today?
I am doing tired. How are you doing, man?
I'm also tired. But before we start, this is also a shameless plug because you have to remind yourselves what you're promoting.
Oh yeah,
guys! If you are going to PAX West, this episode comes out on Thursday, which means tomorrow night is our show. I am doing my one-man show, The Completionist Legacy, and Caddicarus is opening for me. Tickets are still available.
They are.
We added a whole bunch. In fact, we added too many. So come sell at the show. Tickets are $30 at the door. Caddy does a 45-minute show, then I do a 90-minute show. It's comedy, it's dark, it's everything in between. Come see us. We're gonna have a good time.
It's funny and also sad.
Yes, I'm the sad part. He's the funny.
Oh God Almighty!
Before we start, Caddy, how familiar are you with Mega Man X at all?
Well, I haven't told anyone this before, but that is me.
Which?
I'm on the guy on the left.
You're Mega Man X?
I'm him.
Great.
So this is actually about me.
It's your real life story. It's a biography.
This game is about me. So not many people know that. Well,
I'm gonna try my best to speedrun this game as quick as I can for the millionth time on this channel, let alone for this show.
This is like this is your favorite game, right?
Definitely one of them.
Oh, I thought it was the...
No, my favorite is Donkey Kong Country 2.
Oh, yeah.
This is probably the game I'm better at and know better, I would say, at this point.
Yeah.
The poor audience has seen several runs of this game over the course of my career.
Yeah.
And we just thought that was the fun talking point for this show.
Okay, cool. The talking point being that I know nothing about Mega Man X.
The point, it's like Hot Ones in the way that like the gameplay doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like,
no, of course it doesn't.
It doesn't matter.
We don't need to tag an SEO Mega Man X.
No, I mean,
it's not about that.
I mean, look, there's not even Mega Man X in the title. No one really knows it.
No.
It's all about the people in the show. Will you do me a favor, Caddy? Will you grab the remote and
sure,
turn it down a little bit? Also, Caddy's here in the States, obviously, which is a rare one because most of the people we've had on the show have been remote.
This would be really useful then because I'm seeing everything in real time and not like at a 1 second delay or whatever.
Correct, exactly. So, with that said, seriously, what is your familiarity with Mega Man X at all? Do you care? Do you like it? Do you hate it?
I've never played it.
Great. Well, I'm playing it for you. So.
Okay, so yes, Mega Man. I've got an interesting history with Mr. Man. I did a video ages ago, pre-changing my whole channel system and how I make videos and styles and everything. I did a video where, 2 videos back when I thought, hey, 2-part videos work. They get lots of views and watch time, don't they? So that was back in those days when I thought that, and that wasn't true. But I did. I finished every single classic Mega Man game from the collection that came out at the time.
Yeah,
I thought that would make a fun video, and people seem to really like that video. It's not one of my worst, like, old style me videos. It's all right. It's not something I can cringe at necessarily, but that's my history. I have played all of the classic ones up until Mega Man 11, which I have heard mixed things about, and that surprises me because I think Mega Man 11 is ace. So I don't really get it. Maybe I'm not like a Mega Man purist, and I just don't see what other people see. But but that's my experience. I thought after doing the Mega Man video that I would then eventually go to the X collection and start and do the same exact thing. But since then, I changed how I do my stuff. And can we swear?
Fuck yeah.
Okay, I nearly said shit, and then I was like, stuff.
No, we don't give a shit on this channel.
Stuff. Okay, so shit, yeah. Doing my shit differently, and so I kind of, the idea kind of fell off. But that's not saying it won't never happen, but I've kind of moved away from singular games recently, unless it's Crash. But I know people will watch Crash. Whether or not people will want to watch me for this, I don't know. Probably not.
Well, so let's just jump into this then.
That's Boba Fett.
Technically, you're not wrong, but that's actually Vile.
Okay.
So, Caddy.
That's Zero. I know that.
You know Zero.
I know. I know bits. I just haven't played the game. You know.
Yeah. And for all intents and purposes, we're just gonna blast through this, and so I don't expect you to know the story. If you want to know the summation of it, I'll tell you. But
isn't it like just basically like I'm gonna get this right. X, and that's his name. He's not Mega Man. He's X.
Correct.
So why it's called Mega Man, I don't know. But it's maybe because it's the style of the game. I don't really know.
Sure.
But he's X, right? And Dr. Light from the classic series, invented him before he died.
Correct.
But he woke up like really into the future because he was too powerful when Light was alive.
That's pretty good.
Okay, and then he run, right, jump, and boom, boom.
Yeah. So essentially, Mega Man X is the first robot that Dr. Light created that has the ability to think and feel like a human.
Oh, that's a terrible idea.
And so all of the and his powers are very special too. And so kind of the future of the world and robotics is kind of borrowed and built off the technology of Mega Man, or of X rather.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Zero, kind of the same vibe, except Zero was made by Dr. Wily.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
And he has hair.
He does have cool hair. And essentially from there, the whole series kind of kicks off. You find out this next 4, but the whole series kicks off because Zero was born with a certain virus designed by Dr. Wily. And that virus then gets spread to it will basically when you hear someone going Maverick, it means they're
losing their mind.
Yeah, they're going evil essentially. And so Sigma, who's the boss of the entire franchise, was a good guy. He was on the Maverick Hunter side. And he hunted down a lone Maverick known as Zero. They fought. Zero won the fight.
Okay.
But he in the exchange he basically lost, and Sigma ended up winning the fight, but at the cost of not only losing his arm to Zero, but he contracted the Zero virus.
Right.
And basically that's when they switched sides. So Sigma's the bad guy, Zero's the good guy, and X is kind of in the shadow of Zero in this game, trying to like become the best person that he can be.
I see.
That's kind of the gist of the story, if you will.
Okay.
But that's not important. What is important is you. We're here to talk about you. Ignore the gameplay. If you have questions, I'll answer them. But just kick back and relax.
I was going to say one thing. I think I've answered my own question, though.
Sure.
I was going to ask why, because I know Mega Man, you pick your stages.
Yeah.
Is because I just noticed that you weren't dashing and now you are. Is that the reason you came here first? Because you dot the thing with
Mega Man X, you collect capsule pieces, which are armors that were left by Dr. Light.
Right.
And they add to Mega Man X's arsenal. So now
you've got the dash from here, and that's a very important thing to have this early in the game.
One of the most important things.
Got it.
You're doing a disservice to yourself if you try and play this game and not fight Chill Penguin first. It is not a good time.
He also doesn't seem that difficult.
Exactly. But everyone else is absolutely difficult if you just don't have the boots.
Okay, got it.
So let's get into it, Caddy.
Yeah.
How did you start YouTube? Why did you start YouTube? Why is it important to you?
You answer all the questions. Yeah, that's you.
Me?
Yeah,
What
that's
do you
the
mean?
answer
What
to
do you
every.
mean me?
every-
Stop it.
That's the answer to every question.
That's not
Yeah, it
true.
was you and normal boots. Like I think I started how most people did. I think nobody would be here if it weren't for James Rolfe, AVGN. Just the idea of like, hey, I can do my own thing and people can watch it, and I don't even need $1 million and Paramount Pictures. You know, I can do it myself. And no one in a Hollywood studio is going to want to do a video game thing because nobody does video game things now, do they?
Sure.
No, there's no video game movies.
Nope.
None of them.
Mario's not very good.
No. So basically,
Sonic sucks.
Yeah, you know, I think the Borderlands, I think, is happening. Maybe.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
I think that's based on the TV series of Borderlands.
Sure.
Yeah. Where was I?
Talking about how you started,
Yes.
why you started.
So yeah, that's why, because that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to get my foot into media in some capacity, whether it be film or TV.
Yeah.
And then there was a lovely, lovely man who lived down the road from me called Bob, and lovely guy called Bob lived down the street from me, and he has been working as an editor in TV studios in London for a long time, and he basically gave me my first shot, my first opportunity, which was getting my foot in the door at Sky Sports in the UK as a kind of teaching the people there how to edit, because I did a lot of I studied media studies in A level, which is basically like you doing media in college, like film, TV, magazines, and then journalism, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's what I studied in A level, and that's where we started learning the tropes of certain genres of things. And then, hey, here's an editing software. It's called Windows Movie Maker. Here's how it works.
The loveliest of programs.
Yes, so then that's how I started. I started using Windows Movie Maker, got the basics of editing, and then once you've got the basics of Movie Maker, you then move on to literally anything else other than Movie Maker. And then that's when I got my first laptop for myself, because I'd saved my money from my part-time job. And then I bought Vegas. I bought it with real money.
We all bought it. We all bought all the programs with real money.
I bought Vegas.
Because we were always rich and famous and were able to buy whatever we wanted, right?
Yeah, I bought Vegas on this lovely website called the Pirate Bay. And then I taught myself Vegas because it was a little bit more advanced than Movie Maker.
I gave you the out and you just leaned right into it.
What?
I was like, yes, you bought the program. I gave you the out and you went into saying that you took it from Pirate Bay.
Oh, yeah, no, I bought it from Pirate Bay with my money.
Yeah.
I bought it.
Your hard-earned dollars on Pirate Bay.
Yeah, I spent them all
number one place to steal stuff in the world.
Wait a second. They weren't supposed to take my money at Pirate Bay? So yeah, that's what happened. And then I basically just started making random stuff in my own time. My first inspiration, I suppose, was Tobuscus, of all people.
Oh, that's right. That's why I think when your first intros, you would say Caddicarus, and it sounded a lot like Tobuscus,
yes,
right?
it did. How do you remember that? Ooh.
Oh, because I am a storyteller. I have a weird brain that way.
Yeah, you do. You do be having a brain. Yeah. So that's essentially like I was like, oh, I like how like you can make quick videos and try and make people laugh and stuff. So I tried in 2011 when I had a bit more free time and school was ending, and I was like, I'm still living with my parents and everything. Let's just see what happens. I did that whole shtick and tried music videos and comedy things for about... I started in September 2011. I opened my channel, so I did that in 2011.
You started September 2011?
September 2011.
How old were you?
I was 17 at the time.
I started September 2011.
Really?
The completion started September 2011.
And you were also 17.
No. No, I was not. I wish I was 17.
But yeah, so I wish I wasn't, because I had a lot to learn about everything. I was too young. I was a baby. Should not have started at 17 years old. But
well, I mean, hey, you figured it out.
I figured it out
pretty
relatively quickly. But yeah, so started at 17, and then October, November, December, January, February, March, April. So I did that for about 7-8 months, and it wasn't working. And so then that's at that point, around that time, I discovered you guys, and I discovered like nostalgia critic at the time because I knew about AVGN for years, but then it was like, oh, here's a guy doing the similar thing but with films, and then it was like, oh, but now you can do you can have a gimmick, you can have a let's complete the games, let's talk about the game while sounding like you're stoned all the time. Hey Austin, let's talk about
hold on. Yeah. You think Austin's gimmick is that he's stoned all the time?
No, I'm just saying what I'm saying is that my younger mind would watch his videos and be like, you don't need to be AVGN, you can be like spaced out and just wacky, you can just be you. And then obviously there's John who just does his own thing, you know? It was like you didn't have to be an AVGN ripoff. You didn't have to be mad and angry. And
sure.
That, like, you didn't even need to review, technically. You didn't even need to critique Matt that much. You just needed to be you know?
Sure.
And so, naturally, the first thing I did was copy all of you.
Yeah.
Because that's what everyone does when they start.
Well, imitation is how you begin anything, really.
It is
like,
indeed.
If you're going to know how to draw, then one of the best ways to learn is to trace.
Yes.
And to develop your own style that way.
But yeah, that's how I basically got into the YouTube thing. It was like I'd learned editing at school. I really enjoyed it. I didn't love being on camera or anything. I hated recording voiceover. I hated being on camera, but I saw what you guys were doing and I was like, I've got a niche here. I can fit in. And my niche at the time was everybody I saw, whether it be AVGN or you or Austin or John or anybody, it was all Super Nintendo, because you're just a little bit older than me.
Sure.
And I'm a 94 baby, and I was like, I could do the similar kind of thing, but with PS1.
Yeah.
Because nobody was doing that. The only thing I could think of at the time that was maybe like AVGN doing an episode on Independence Day for the PS1.
Sure.
And that was a one-off because he did it on Independence Day and it was a weird video. So yeah, it was an interesting time, and I think that's how I basically managed to force myself into the system. But my first video, the like Caddicarus proper, if you want to say, like the origin, the first official Caddicarus episode, not necessarily silly skit or whatever, was May 2012. So I was still 17, because I turned 18 in June the following month, and yeah, uploaded that. And I mean, if you want to watch it, it's still fucking there. It's still there. As far as first videos go, I think it's one of the worst in terms of like first attempts of a kind of thing. Like with you guys, you can see that you can see the building blocks, you can see what needs to be improved, but I still think they're competent videos. My first video is just unbearably terrible. I don't understand how I picked up a fan base at all, and I didn't, because even though I got more views on that video than any other video I did up to that point, in that first year, so up until September 2012, I got 147 subscribers. And so it wasn't really doing in fact, my first video, my Rascal Racers video, that was actually a Normal Boots audition video. And
which, to be clear, just so that everyone's like wondering how you auditioned for Normal Boots, at the time I did not have, and now I guess I'm the leader of Normal Boots, which was just kind of by default at this point. But prior to that, I didn't even know there was an audition process. I didn't know there was an audition email. John just asked me to be in the group after 3 episodes of The Completionist.
Yeah. And you knew each other from school and stuff.
Yeah, well, and I helped John early on with early JonTron stuff. I helped write and direct.
Yeah.
And sometimes edit. But mostly I was production. I was the camera guy
behind the scenes.
When you notice John's quality was getting better from a visual perspective, it's because it was my camera, my lights, my microphone, so on and so forth. Until eventually John just figured out how to do his own thing without me. But you have to have those early years to figure stuff out.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you started in 2011.
Yeah. And also, I need to say as well, yes, I did not make the audition, but bless him, he did email me back. I wasn't blanked, I wasn't ghosted, and he very, very gently said, "Thank you, but we're not taking any more auditions right now."
Sure.
That was Austin that said that to me.
Well, for what it's worth,
he let me down gently.
For what it's worth, you look at like the expanded roster of Normal Boots, and I think I was the last new member that joined until the group shut down. Did You Know Gaming? But to be fair, the thing about Did You Know Gaming that makes it a little more unique in that way is that Shane and John were best friends prior. They were, Shane helped John out with some JonTron stuff, and that's kind of how they met and kind of became close.
He did pixel art and stuff.
He did pixel art for John for his early days of stuff, and then eventually Shane came up with Did You Know Gaming, and that took the world by storm, obviously. And I think I honestly think that Did You Know Gaming was the last new thing added to the roster.
I think that sounds right.
Before the meltdown of or not the meltdown, that's an inappropriate term to say. The closing of the first Normal Boots era, where we just kind of decided to shut the whole thing down before we rebooted it with newer talent.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So I guess what I'm saying is, I think you needed to not get into Normal Boots, because had you gotten into it,
things would be way different.
Yeah. And to be fair, like, no one really knew this, but and I feel comfortable talking about it in my skin. There was a time, and we don't have to talk about this. You're more than welcome to say no,
dude. If it makes you uncomfortable, everything's on the table.
Yeah.
It's fine.
So, and you kind of saw me try to do it, and I just didn't know how, and I messed it up because the internet. But originally, when Normal Boots closed, I wanted to create a new entity. I really loved Normal Boots. It helped my career. It was helping my career, and I was sad that it was closed down. I didn't really get an option or a chance to say, "Hey, Austin and Shawn, let's not do this." They kind of just felt it in the winds. It was time to move on. And mostly at the time, and this is not to throw shade towards anyone, but at that point, Shawn was doing Game Grumps, and so he didn't have time to do his own stuff, and the point of Normal Boots was kind of redundant because it was just a website. But I wanted to pick up the flag where it was dropped, and so I was trying to form a new group, and I had been talking to you because I'd been mentoring you for a while and giving you advice on your videos.
Yeah.
And you were the first person that was "Sir, yes, sir, I'm down to do this." And then from there, I kind of found out that Shane was doing the same thing, and he was more connected to all of those folks out there via Brutal Moose and Jeff, Space Hamster, and Nintendo Fan for the Win, Jimmy Wetzel,
Waleed,
Balrog. And so I was trying to basically do what Shane was doing, and by the time I has found my roster, which was the same as Hidden Block. Hidden Block was, you guys were already off to the races, but with behind closed door discussions. And I remember that my reputation at the time was not the greatest, and so I felt like there was this weird tension in the room, especially for you, because you were my friend. You didn't want to say no to me, but
dude, I don't remember this.
You don't remember any of this?
No, I don't remember this at all.
I remember it because I
will just say, not that this puts anything into perspective or defense or anything, but no, I will just say, people ask me all the time, why have I put big capital letters old on all of my videos pre-2020, whereas everyone else, you included, everyone just leaves their old stuff up. Well, there's multiple reasons for it, but one, without going rambling, but one big reason is because even though that's where I got my start and everything else, and they're old videos, but bad period of my life. And it was an ongoing bad period, which then so when I think about those old videos and I remember the things I wrote and the things I said, and I look at myself in certain shots, I'm I remember what happened that day. And when I say I don't remember, I think I put a mental block on a lot of my early YouTube career. So but tell me, what did I do to upset you? What did I do?
No, you didn't upset me at all.
Okay.
It wasn't you. I think I don't know if it's a public thing, and it's definitely water under the bridge for sure, but and I feel comfortable talking about it because I feel comfortable in my own skin, and I'm older, and life is, I don't care. People make mistakes. John and I, even though we went to high school together, in the early days of Normal Boots, we did not get along very well. We were at odds with each other. I didn't realize I was at odds with John, but I really upset him a lot of the time without even knowing it. And admittedly, I can look back and go, I know why. I was hungry, I was aggressive, I really wanted to grow my channel, I really believed that YouTube was the future of my career, and I really wanted to take it seriously. And I think John at the time kind of saw that as like I was abusing our friendship. And so I think he took it as like well, Jirard just wants to use and abuse me. And so we had a pretty big falling out. And a lot of stuff happened between the two of us. But I was so hurt by what happened because it just kind of came from left field. And I was just, I didn't know. I had no clue. So I immediately went ahead and tried to make a new normal boots. And that was Hidden Block. And I didn't know Shane at all very well at the time, and this is all speculation at this point, what I'm about to say.
Yeah,
but
sure.
I know that John said bad things about me to certain people, and because they told me eventually as time went on, and Shane was such good friends with John that I think Shane was afraid of having a real friendship with me.
Okay.
And so it created a lot of tension, and I know that Shane was he wasn't the reason why Hidden Block came around, but he definitely was instrumental in kind of uniting you guys. And
absolutely.
And essentially, I was trying to do the exact same thing at the same time. So it was a bit of a race, if you will, without even, at least for me, it was. I didn't even realize it. And I think I just rubbed all of you guys the wrong way. And to be fair,
dude, I wish I could remember this whole thing. I don't.
I mean, that's the vibe that I got. I could be talking completely out of my ass, but I definitely remember.
I'm just talking about the general, like, you and Shane at odds. I don't even remember that.
Shane and I were.
All I remember was that I was speaking with Ian, because Ian was the first one that I had opened up community. He messaged me on YouTube direct messaging when that was still a thing.
Yeah.
And we got.
I could be all wrong. I could be upsetting all the Hidden Block guys right now.
I'm just.
I could be spilling the wrong tea.
No. You can spill all the tea. It's fine.
No. No bad blood between anyone anymore nowadays.
There really isn't.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't go making drama out of it, guys.
No. If anything, like, I know that my reputation was rough in those early years, and it was because of my relationship with John. But once I think people got past the negative things he had said about me, I think people were like, oh, there was a problem between two people and they just couldn't solve the differences.
As it usually ends up being.
Right, exactly. And then, of course, when Normal Boots came back, John and we had those conversations, and we grew. You're allowed to grow as people, everyone. You're allowed to go through problems and fix them.
It's just the problem with being public figure, isn't it? Like,
right. Yeah. And granted, this was early, this was only like year 2 into me doing YouTube, going on year 3 before Hidden Block showed up.
But yeah, that's all I remember, though. It's not necessarily the whole, who was managing what and who wanted to start what. All I remember from those days was me talking with Ian and him saying, well, this is all that's happening. And I was like, yeah, all right, I'm down. Like, I don't remember higher up conversations, or I wasn't part of any designs of anything. I was just told, here's what we're doing. Here's these new people you've never heard of. Oh, look, we've got a new guy. His name's Youngtown. Okay, cool. Like, it was, I only knew Ian, and even then, know is in quotes. I knew of him. We were acquaintances, you know? So it was, I don't remember any of this going on, because I think I just let everyone solve it themselves.
Well, like I said, I could be talking out of my ass. That was just how I perceived it and went through it.
Yeah, okay.
And it changed pretty significantly, pretty quickly. But eventually, like, I definitely remember talking to some folks and being like, hey, this is my big chance, and if I have to choose like a side, I would probably go with the Hidden Block side. And it wasn't like I was trying to divide it. I didn't push it very hard once I kind of got the vibe from everyone. And I just was like, I'll just do my own thing. And so the idea was to then form That One Video Gamer as a website to then build up the crew more. But I did that, I did it wrong. Alex and I were trying our best to figure it out. We just chose That One Video Gamer as a platform because I had the biggest one, and the idea was, hey, I want you to leech off me. I want you to grow your channel. I want you to use me
on that. I remember now. You wanted me on That One Video Gamer.
Yeah, because the idea was I wanted you, because I wanted you guys to succeed, so that like I was the guy who disappeared in the shadows. I wanted you guys to capitalize off of my success, so that you guys could have your careers and we can keep kind of this thing going. But that happened years after that stuff.
Oh God, you just unlocked a primal memory there.
Yeah.
Wow, I completely
And eventually
forgot.
I did, we had Satchel, we had Jordan Underneath, we had
I remember that.
We had George Weedman.
Proton John, maybe?
No, not Proton John.
Okay.
There was oh my goodness. Why is my brain not working? I don't even remember it was on my own fucking website.
I mean, I just remembered that you invited me on your website for 2 minutes ago. So yeah, I'd be surprised if you remembered anything.
Oh man, we definitely. Oh my god.
Basically, you know, like going off of the first question, how did we get into YouTube? What do we like? Basically, getting into YouTube is making shitloads of mistakes.
Yeah.
You're just constantly testing the waters. I mean, like I said, what spurred my interest, like because getting into TV and film was the traditional way of getting into media.
Yeah, well, and that's where I was too.
Exactly, you did theater school and stuff, right?
I wanted to do film and theater, and this was the best place to kind of start. And
yeah, because YouTube as a career was just not viable unless you were like...
Well, there was like 5 of us, you know what I mean? It was Angry Joe, it was that guy with the glasses, it was, you know, Total Biscuit, it was John, Austin, myself, like, you know, like it was a very small group that eventually became a thriving community, and I'm glad that it has gone on so much, but it's definitely changed a lot, and I've definitely... looking back and say like, fuck man, this was a crazy goddamn ride.
It has been a crazy ride, but kind of. I know I'm looping back to the first question stupidly, but like,
it doesn't matter. The whole point of the show is to get to know you, and we're chilling.
We're just chatting shit.
Yeah.
So
everyone knows who you are, as far as I'm concerned. We're just having a good time.
Sorry for the however many hundreds of thousands of you that don't know who I am.
But it's okay. They're learning.
It's that they're learning now. It's just like I got into the TV thing because I figured that would be the safer thing to do. And the annoying thing is that going into safer traditional media often means you're gonna get fucked around and used and not abused, but like my first TV gig that I had was with, and again, it's nothing against Bob. Bob got my foot in the door with media. So
you said it was Sky Sports, right?
This was Sky Sports. And so because of my interest and everything that I gained at school, learning college media studies and doing Windows Movie Maker, and then moving on to Vegas in my own time, I was like, hey, he got a load of Vegas computers, and he was trying to teach. Like it was like an internship kind of thing for a load of like working class youths in East London. That's where I was working with him. Yeah. So it was kind of like I was working for free, helping train a load of like 25-year-olds from East London how to edit with Vegas, and I was 18 at the time. It didn't go down too well. I wasn't taken very seriously. I wasn't paid. The hours were insane, and like, but it was one of those things where, as you're told, you got to get through that, and then you start moving your way up the ladder. Like I had my foot in the door. This is like how no one gets this opportunity. I'm going to keep going with it. And then it became a point where it's like, hang on a second, maybe the YouTube thing might work out. Do I take the risk and stop the TV thing?
Right.
And Jesus Christ, even at that time, I hadn't made a single cent from YouTube. In fact, I didn't make a cent from YouTube until April 2014. So
you know, it's funny. I think I got my first check like April of 2013, so the year before.
So and even then my first paycheck was $280, so it wasn't even like I can pay my rent. Like no, I still had to have part-time work. I still had to still living with my parents and everything. But it was like
okay, I got a great question.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so because this is creator to creator, you and I share unique experiences that most people don't. Okay.
Yeah, we do.
So I'll ask you first, and then I'll respond with my story.
Okay.
When was the first time that you got a paycheck from content creation that made you go, "Oh my god, I did it"?
Oh my god, I did it.
Like, holy shit, look at all those zeros, or oh my god, I can live my life now, or this is the beginning, or all my hard work, because you were putting it in. You were putting in that work for years, just like I was. And then suddenly it worked.
Do you want my honest answer?
Yeah.
My absolute balls to the wall honest answer?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say June 2020.
June 2020.
Yeah. And that's not because I wasn't making money. I was making enough to feed my family and pay rent and everything. But I was breaking my back and working my fingers to the bone, like doing 2 to 3 uploads a week.
Sure.
And I was doing a job I wanted to do. I wasn't working behind a desk. I wasn't working on a building site. I wasn't in the mines, you know, not complaining.
Sure.
But I hadn't ever got that, oh my God, I made it. I'd say I felt that more when I went to conventions. So SGC 2014 was my first convention, my first time in the US on my own, first time I saw all of you guys in person. So that was a massive, massive deal. And that's probably when I thought, like, I saw the fans and everything. And we did our first Hidden Block panel and the audience were chanting my name, and it was like, holy shit. So at that point, the money doesn't even fucking matter. It's not even part of the equation. But if you're talking about money specifically, then yeah, 2020, because that's when everything, all the gears fit into place, everything worked, and I was like, I've got something that now people really, really, really connect with. And not just because it reminds them, and not because it reminds me, like I remind them of you guys, or I'm the British version of this, or I'm the guy that's like you, but I do PlayStation. It was like, this is my thing that I wanted to do, not worrying about trending, not worrying about upload time, upload schedule, or anything. No responsibilities or like commitments to anybody. And that was like, this is all I wanted. I just wanted to be able to do what the fuck I wanted to do without feeling pressured by YouTube or pressured by the subscribers that I'd already had and I didn't want to lose and everything, you know. That was the first time, and then I've kept it building since then, honestly. And that sounds crazy, but 2019 I was looking for work. I nearly stopped YouTubing. I wasn't making enough to, like, I was like, I need another job, and I'm not above that, but I was ready to fucking work. But then 2020, I was like, you know what? I have got nothing to lose. I'm looking for other work, so I'm just gonna make a video that I want to make. I don't care if it trends. I don't care if it's got anything to do with a new game that's trending and people are searching. I just want to, and I don't care how long it is. I don't care of anything. I don't even care if I review anything or people are getting upset with my critiques. I just want to make people laugh. And ever since then, I haven't looked back, and it's really weird. It took me 10 years or so, well, nine years to basically figure that out. And that's YouTube. And some people don't go through that. They go through, I uploaded a video and all of a sudden I'm viral and I keep the momentum going for the rest of my life. And even if it's short-lived, you could make so many millions of dollars that you then don't have to worry about the next, like, 10 years, because, or 20, 30, 40, 50 years, because you've made so much in that brief moment that you were relevant that it doesn't really matter, and you can run off into the sunset, escape in a hole, and just, you know, live the rest of your days out completely comfortably without doing another day's work. But yeah, but, like, not many people get the privilege of that, you know? And so yeah, that's my answer. How about you?
I guess my first real paycheck where I really broke down and cried because I was so happy with the results was the very first time I did merch. And proper merch. So when I hit 100,000 subscribers, which was, I think it took me about 2.5 years, Maker Studios was not a very good merch store. I did not like working with them, and surprise, surprise, they're no longer with us, so I think I survived.
Rip.
They are to a degree. But at that time, I didn't think that anyone gave a shit about me and the thing that I was making. And I still feel that way at times.
I know that feeling.
That never goes away. But it just slightly gets better, I guess, if you will.
It's kind of imposter syndrome-y, kind of. And
it's imposter syndrome. It's numbers and data don't lie, so you're like, why am I not doing it anymore? But anyways, Satchel had made a shirt and some posters for me, and they were really cool, and I thought that they were really sick, and like they looked like a brand. You know, I always saw myself as building a brand and building something bigger than me, and hopefully provide for my family and for the team that I wanted to build. Which I feel like we've definitely gotten there, but not the pace that I would have wanted.
We are sitting in a load of LA office buildings right now.
It's true.
You're done good. I know it's hard work, and I know, it's a struggle, but you're done good. You're done good, you know?
Thank you. But I remember opening that check. I was about to take a loan from the bank because I was officially out of money.
Oh, damn.
And I didn't know if I was going to do YouTube or if I was going to get another job, because what people don't know is that I used to work at Beachbody, the guys behind P90X, those like workout videos. I worked there as an editor full time in the evenings. So I would do completionist.
Wait, you weren't a host?
No. This was early. This was 2012, 2013.
I'd watch you do a Beachbody like routine video.
No way,
I'd pay for that.
No, I appreciate it, but no. I was working full time as an editor.
Yeah, okay.
And so I would basically, I can't believe I did this, dude. Think of the insanity of this. I would complete games.
Mm-hmm.
I'd get up early in the morning at 8 a.m., 9 a.m.
Yeah.
I would complete games.
Uh-huh.
Alex would come over in the afternoon. He and I would record Beard Bros.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kelly and him and I would record the decks in my spare bedroom in my parents' house. And then I would get on the freeway. I'd go work from like 7 o'clock in the evening until 4 in the morning every day. And then I'd come home, sleep for 3 hours, and I'd do it again.
Yeah.
I do it again, and I do it again, and I do it again.
So familiar.
It was, I was literally doing 22 to 24 hour work days at times. And I sustained it for, roughly 6 months.
Yeah, huh? And when you're younger, it's easier as well.
Much easier, yeah.
Much easier when you're younger.
Well, I felt it, like you could see I wasn't sleeping. My weight was skyrocketing. It took a lot of my mental health. My longtime girlfriend at the time broke up with me, and I didn't get to
Rough, yeah.
I didn't think about it, like you, there was that moment of young adult energy where I just was focused
You're
on
so
the end game.
determined to make it work.
Exactly. And so I opened that check from Satchel after just quitting my job at Beachbody, and there were so many zeros and ones on the end of it that I just started crying because it gave me faith that the YouTube money that these big creators were talking about was possible.
Yeah.
But it was possible.
And weirdly, not from YouTube directly.
Exactly. That's when I really it opened my third eye, if you will. They're like, hey, if people believe in you enough,
we need to expand. And then that's where the brand becomes a business, and
and the rest is kind of history. But it's definitely interesting to see, because I know that that's not everyone's story, right? Everyone's is different.
Everyone's a different story. Yeah, absolutely.
But definitely one that I haven't forgotten about.
I mean, Jesus Christ, another part that I completely forgot to mention was like, so I was doing part-time work, making money to pay my parents like rent and everything. And I had my foot in the door with TV, and I thought, I'm safe. Thousands of people tried to get as far as I have, and I just knew the right person who got me in. So I was like, and I'm still to this day unbelievably grateful. Thank you, Bob. I love you. So like that was never, but it was like leaving that behind to maybe make YouTube work was kind of scary. But at the same time, and this was even before I had my first paycheck, but I was also, as a hobby / hoping this would kick off as well, I was a drummer in a band. And I've played in bands before. It was mostly for fun, but everyone ends up getting jobs, and then you can't meet up and play anymore. But this was a band that wanted to like record records and go on mini tours, and like they were actually, I got my first paid gigs playing with this band, and they were starting to gain traction. But the problem is, so was YouTube. But I was making money with the band, but not with YouTube. And when I say money, I mean like I got paid like £50 a gig in a pub somewhere. It wasn't like money. Yeah. But I was still making £50 a gig and 0 on YouTube. So it's still, the obvious answer.
It was a financial increase of funds versus not having anything.
Yeah, it's like it's still 500% plus 0.
Sure.
So like, essentially what happened was it got to a point where I was uploading more and I was canceling gigs, or I was too busy to do things, and we had to have a meeting, and they had to basically decide, hey, so are you going to stick with us, and because we're going to,
or are you going to leave,
or are you going to leave?
Yeah.
And so I am juggling that with part-time job and also the TV idea, and they were gaining, like I said, they were gaining traction, and there was a possibility they might have got somewhere, and the YouTube thing was still up in the air. But at that point, I was still gaining quite a lot of momentum. I don't think I might have been at 100K, but I was still gaining momentum is my point. And so, maybe under 100K, I'm not sure, but I was like, do I just all my eggs in one basket and just give it a go? And it was a risk, and I took the risk, and I'm glad I did. Because here I am now,
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things. It could have gone either way. It really could have gone either way. But that's what life is, right? It's just a load of risks and chances and gambles.
In your case too, I think something that I want to really commend you for, and something that I feel like not a lot of people know, and I feel like they don't know, not because you're secretive about it, you're very vocal about it, but you have this beautiful family with your partner and your kids, and
my fiance now.
Your fiance, congratulations! By the way,
thank you very much.
And you're somehow not only able to make money out of this like the rest of us and work your asses off, but you've had 4 mouths to feed, and not only 4 mouths to feed, but to protect and grow, and you've got
like parent.
a literal parent at such a young age. Like, you're only 30, right? And yet here you are, this parent.
29, but
29, but you're about to be 30.
Yeah, 30 next year. Yeah.
And you're a parent to and a partner, and that's an amazing feat that you've been able to provide for your family. And now they're getting older and they're starting their lives. Like I think you can take solace in that if you're ever one day like, hey, I don't know how I got here, I didn't deserve it. I mean, you worked your ass off for those kids, and that's
a good motivator. It's a good motivator.
Yeah, definitely a good motivator, but also like to a degree, like, I mean, I don't know if your partner said this, but you didn't have to. You know what I mean? Like, you just said, well, that's how it's going to be. Like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's not now that like you're not their biological father. You are like by association.
I'm the dad that stepped up.
Exactly.
Stepdad.
Exactly. You're the stepdad, and you did it in a way where you were young as hell.
Yeah.
Like, when did you and your partner start dating?
We started dating when I was 18.
18 years old.
I was 18 when I met her and we started dating. So but that wasn't for a while though. I met her when I was 18, when I was probably like going on 19 when we started seeing each other.
Sure.
But we didn't live together because I had my one, because she said like, there's one condition, right? She wants to live with me, but I hadn't lived away from home yet, and she was like, you're living alone for at least a year because you need to understand what living alone is like.
Yeah.
So I did that for a year. That was actually, funnily enough, SGC 2014. That was the month I moved out.
Yeah.
So I came home and then I unpacked my shit, and that's when I moved out. So 2015, so I would have been 21? Yeah, 21. So 21 is when I moved in with her, and we had our place together, and we've been living together ever since.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And you got those kids to look out for the entire time. Like, that's...
And I also want to make it very clear as well, not that you were suggesting this, but
yes,
like the whole kind of providing for family thing.
Sure.
Obviously, Caddicarus, my fiance, she puts in.
Oh, absolutely! I did not want to
No, I know. I
didn't want to make it seem like it was just you.
I'm making it clear for people watching.
Of course.
Without her, I'd be nothing. It's one of those. We work off each other.
Yeah,
we work off each other really well.
No, I think my point in bringing it up is that, like,
literally making money off of YouTube specifically.
Yeah, and also being so young, like 18 years old, into the world of parenting, like. That is a huge feat. Like, you chose YouTube hard mode in a way that most people would have given up.
Yeah.
And kind of like me to a degree, right? I chose to be the completionist. I didn't have to.
Exactly.
I didn't have to fucking do that dumb thing that I did, but I still do it, and it's my own journey. But the thing is that, and I think you can respect this too.
Yeah. It's
my goddamn journey. Like, no one can take away from the fact that you've raised those kids with your partner, and they're now old enough to know and respect and love and trust you and see what you're doing,
see the effect of it and everything.
And the I've hung out with them a lot. I've seen them at conventions. I've seen the way they look at you. They look at you like you are their actual father through and through. And
well, I mean, the youngest is 13 now, and teenagers don't really look at you like that anymore.
Well, there's how it is. There's that transitional phase.
But I think that links into as well when you were talking earlier about when did you feel like you've made it?
Yeah.
And I said 2020. The main other reason for that was because with that video that I made in 2020 when I changed everything about my channel, I did it in my own time.
Yeah.
And I did it in my own way. I wasn't beholden to anybody other than myself, because I had nothing to lose. I was looking for work. So, and once I realized I could do what I wanted as often as I wanted and not, kill myself making 2 to 3 videos a week trying to keep the bills paid. At that point, it was like a realization of, oh my God, I can actually hang out with my family again.
Yeah.
Because, I can actually spend time because I don't need to do 2 to 3 videos a week. And that was what I was doing for years. I was doing that for a long time. And I missed a lot of crucial stuff in upbringing and stuff, and nothing to like the degree of, oh my god, you missed my birthday and you weren't there for me. It was never anything like that, but I was very busy quite a lot of the time, and I'm still very busy, but I can give a lot more of my time to the stuff that is living in under my roof and that actually matters, you know?
Yeah.
And obviously seeing you guys, like if I was doing my old scheduling and stuff, if I had stopped uploading 2 to 3 times a week, I wouldn't have had the bills paid, because that's just how my channel's value was determined. It was like I had to keep the momentum going to keep whatever money I was making coming in.
Totally.
So I wouldn't be able to come to the States and do conventions as often as I could. And I wouldn't be able to see my US friends, who I seem to have more of than in my own country. And I wouldn't be able to do any of this stuff because I'd be too like, dude, I can't. I have to make videos. I have to. And it's now at a point where I can genuinely be like, yeah, you know what? If it's a bad day, I can take a break.
Yeah.
If something important has happened with family, if there's a hospital thing, I don't need to feel obliged to tell the audience, by the way, guys, I'm so sorry I didn't upload I only uploaded twice this week, and that's because I was in the emergency room with one of my kids.
Sure.
I don't feel the need to do that anymore.
The obligation's gone.
Yeah, because it's just, I do what I want, how I want, exactly how I want, when I want. It's perfectionism, I suppose.
Yeah.
But that's all I wanted. I didn't ever want to be felt pressured or rushed to do what I do and still pay the bills. And it's now at a point where it's not just that. I'm doing more than paying the bills. I'm doing this stuff, and I'm coming out more, and and all that kind of stuff. Coming out to the States.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff. And that's all I wanted. If you want to talk about like the first proper paycheck where I stopped work, though, that would have been around, I want to say, because my first paycheck was about $280 in April 2014. But the thing is, that was the first paycheck, and then it rolled on, and then it got bigger very quickly, and then it stabled out maybe 2 to 3 months after.
Yeah.
And I made officially more money than I was making with my part-time job at maybe, I want to say maybe August 2014, possibly. It was definitely after SGC, but it was like, yeah, I can do this now. That's why I came, because I had to pay for the flight, and I put £1,200 on my credit card for the Dallas flight, which even back, 2014, that was a lot of fucking money, especially for someone that wasn't making much money. So I was like, I'm able to do that now because I can confidently know that at some point I will pay that debt off at some point. Not immediately. It took a long time, but I did pay that off. And yeah, but it was definitely like mid to late 2014 when that was when I was like, oh my god, I can stop traditional work. I can actually focus full time on videos. And then, blessing and a curse, it was amazing. I could do what I wanted from my house, and people were watching, and I was growing, and everything was great. But the curse was that I had now more free time than ever because I wasn't working. So then I felt I need to be doing videos all the time now, because I'm not going to work now. So I need to spend every waking moment working.
Sure.
Because otherwise, if I don't have that discipline, I'm going to lose what I have, and I'm going to have to find other work again, And so, yeah, blessing and a curse. It was awesome. But then you start thinking, oh, holy shit, I'm hanging out with friends at the pub. I should really be making something right now. I really need to be editing. I'm wasting time, And and then that started a bad habit, and then YouTube and not understanding how the algorithm worked then meant I was like, oh, hey, but by the way, guys, I've got 2 channels now, and one channel is doing this, and my main channel stays the same, and now I'm doing more than just the Caddicarus show. I'm doing movie reviews, and I'm also doing very, very quick videos about brand new games that just came out. So that meant every brand new game that came out, much like you, I'd pick it up as soon as I could, maybe get a review code if I was lucky. I'd play it as quickly as humanly possible, write the notes, write the script, make the video as quick as humanly possible so it was still trending as a new game. And then I'd also have a movie video on the Friday, because that was a Wednesday video, and all the while I was editing a 20-minute max Caddicarus video.
Yeah.
And I think if you look back at those like 2014, 15, 16 videos, you can see that. You can see I'm being rushed. There's only so much I put my heart and soul into it. I'm not saying I didn't, but there's only so much a man can do in a week, And
you're telling me.
Yeah, exactly. And with my case, I feel like the videos suffered a little bit, because it wasn't that people like those videos and they're staying there and they have nostalgia for them, and that's great. You can keep watching them and you can enjoy them. If they mean something to you, that means the world to me. But for me, it's like, I just think how rushed and pressured, and it's like, I wish I could have done everything differently because I didn't have the time, and there's only so much you can do in a week 3 videos.
Yeah.
You know, and I can see that with any Caddicarus video. It's like, I can see the cuts. I can see where I rushed things. I can see where I left mistakes in because I just did. It wasn't because, oh, I don't care. It's because I didn't have the time and I had to do that to keep the bills paid. And that's the ironic thing, is that now I upload once every 2 to 3 months, and the results and the feedback and the turnover and everything is like, no joke, 20 to 30 times better. And that's the craziest thing of all, isn't it?
The thing that I admire about what you're doing now, and this may sound like a backhanded insult to you.
No,
Please don't take it this
you
way.
can backhand me. It's fine.
Well, I mean, if we weren't friends enough for me to say this, I wouldn't say it to you, right? You know, like I you know what I mean? Like if
I'm sitting next to you physically now. You're gonna hit me, aren't you?
No. What I mean is, like, I'm not gonna say mean things to you because I don't like you. I'd say those mean things in concern of, like, hey, this is what I think. You know what I mean? Like,
tough love.
I'm comfortable enough as your former.
I'm not mad. I'm disappointed.
Like, inspiration / mentor. No, not at all. No.
Yeah. No.
Your videos, and I say this with so much respect, are so comedically exhausting. Like, you're so funny for so long. You're so funny for so long that I'm just like, I need to, like, go outside because it's like, you're so funny and they're so good, but I can only laugh so much.
And then you have to stop.
And it's an hour and a half long.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I'm impressed because
this isn't a backhanded compliment. This is like everything I wanted, man. I wanted to go into YouTube to make videos that make people choke. That's what I wanted to do.
Yeah, and choke they do.
Yeah,
for whatever reason that you want them to.
And that's what I should have been. I mean, you know, you can say in hindsight, that's what I should have been focusing on from day one. I shouldn't have tried to do Angry Joe's thing. I shouldn't have tried to do John or Austin's thing or your thing. I should have just tried to do what I felt was right, and what I felt was right is late 80s absurdist British punk comedy and Monty Python, and that's what really inspires me, and that's all I do now. The games are the theme.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm having more people than ever before, like family friends and friends that don't know anything about YouTube and don't know anything about video games that we hang out with back where I live. Like, they're watching my videos just because they're interested. They're like, oh, you make videos for a living? That's cool. Like, they've never met anyone in my position before. And then I tell them, oh, yeah, it's video games. And then they're like, okay, I won't bother. But then when they actually watch it, they're like, this is brilliant. And I don't know what you're talking about. It's like, that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
I wanted the entertainment over everything else. And in any of my videos pre-2020, you need to know gaming. Did you know gaming? You need to know gaming.
Yeah.
Even a little bit. You just need to understand how mechanics of things work and how 3D platformers and the history of Sonic, just the basics. But with what I do now, you don't need any of that. You just, hey, here's a stupid game, let's point and laugh at it, and then I'm gonna put a costume on where I've got 2, like, prop hands and I've got a cone head and he's called Long Dennis, and that's it. Like, there's no rhyme or reason, you know? And that's always what I wanted to do. And I just thought I was too scared to do it for many, many years because I thought I'm going to lose everything I built, you know? People aren't going to like it, or I'm going to lose my money and I'm going to lose the job and I'm going to lose my family and my house. So it was fear. It was a lot of pressure and fear, and yeah, that's why kind of the end of 2019, 2020 was a blessing, because it was like, I lost everything anyway. I was looking for work, so I might as well try and do this thing that I've wanted to do for years, you know? And
yeah.
And luckily for me, it just turned out that's what people were expecting or wanting for as long as I wanted to do it, because then everything just blew up from there. It's crazy. Like, it took me until 2019. I had, just to put it in perspective, because people don't usually talk about the financials of YouTube for, you know, obvious reasons. It's not.
I would talk about it all day long if I didn't get in trouble with advertisers or brands.
I mean, there's that, obviously, but then there's also, like, you know, like it being, is it anyone's business and all that stuff? But, like, in general,
because then it doesn't turn into how much you earn. It turns into how well did you spend it. And those are 2 different categories.
Oh, absolutely. But when it comes to you gonna do it?
Yeah.
This is the first time I've mentioned the game in 57 minutes.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's not that important. The conversation's important.
Yeah. What were we talking about? Money. Oh shit. What was I? I was in the middle. What was I saying? I was just
You're talking about how you would be more forthright with your information about how much you make.
Yeah. Oh no, it wasn't about that. It was about oh shit, man. What was I talking about? Fuck it. What was it? Oh, I completely lost it.
It's okay.
Damn it. I completely lost it. It's going to come to me in a second. I know it will. Yeah, we're talking about financial stuff and yeah, changing the videos in 2019, 2020. Damn it, man. How are you skipping phases? Have you got like a super powerful weapon right now?
Oh,
I noticed you've been one-shotting a lot of stuff.
Yes. The completion bonus for this game is that you get the Hadouken from Street Fighter, and it one-hit kills the enemies.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's the Easter egg. See, boom? Boom, he died.
That's sick.
Yeah, so as long as you have full health, you can do the Hadouken.
Oh,
so
no way.
That's why if you see me like taking a single hit and then using the energy tank, it's me.
So that you can use the Hadouken.
Yeah,
right?
I'd like to try.
Okay.
Yeah, I've actually. It's maybe one of the best times that I've been doing this. But I've just been trying not to notice it because if I do, I will.
That was it. You just talk about Mega Man and you start remembering money. Okay, right. So what I was trying to say was,
I wish Capcom had that feeling.
yeah, so do I. So I wish. No, that's what you just said. I was going to repeat exactly what you fucking just said.
Damn it.
Wasn't that a funny joke that I came up with on my own?
No, you're fine.
So, yeah, people don't tend to talk about the financial aspects of stuff for obvious reasons, but what people need to understand is that with fucking hell, what? I've lost it again. Financial aspect. Is this just what my brain does when anything stressful comes into my head? I just freeze up. It's like, oh, money. Oh God. Yeah, making money on YouTube. So, no, it's gone again. It's gone again.
I respect it. It's okay.
Fucking hell, man. Oh, I will remember it. I'll remember it before you finish this fucking game. I will. I promise I will. Are we on schedule anyway? I mean,
we're doing great as far as I know.
Yeah. So you're going through a boss rush right now, right?
Yeah.
He even says it.
Yeah.
That's cute.
Let's talk about the struggle of brand deals.
Yeah,
so sure. I do a lot of them. I'm not happy about them.
Needs must, man. Needs must.
Yeah, exactly. It's necessary evil. What do you find is the more difficult part of taking money from corporate companies, if any at all?
The most difficult part?
Yeah, like, are you worried your audience will hate it? Are you worried that
most difficult part for me is not asking more.
Yeah, whenever I've asked you for your rates in the past when I'm trying to get you a deal, I've learned that you ask for very little, and then I get mad at you and I say, please ask for more.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even like it's not about not knowing my worth. It's about I want to ask more, but I know if I do, you'll never speak to me again. So I'd say that was the hardest bit.
Sure.
I'd say that was the hardest bit. What people don't realize is that, like, yeah, I mean, like, you can say it's selling out, you can say it's whatever, and look,
I say eating a sandwich and living my life, because if you don't, how are you going to survive?
Well, I mean, there's that, but
providing for your family.
I mean, yeah, there is
Ted's
that.
my family. Who's going to take care of Ted? I got to take care of Ted.
I can't take care of him because he'll fangirl over me all day. That's not gonna work.
Ted's not on mic today, but he's saying it's true.
It's saying it's true. God, so yeah, like there's that, but then the other way I look at it as well is that you guys don't know how many deals fall through for various reasons. I've had deals with, just as one example, and I'm not going to name names, but I'll just name the situation and everyone can put the pieces together themselves. Didn't hear it from me. But there was a company I was going to do a branded thing for, and I'd done an entire branded video about it, and it was worth a lot of money. I had done a fully scripted, it's lost media as far as I'm concerned. I made it, I uploaded it, and I never went public with it. So this is just original Caddicarus material that's never seeing the light of day ever.
Air the caddy cut.
Well, what I ended up doing, I took gags from that video and then repurposed them, but the whole video itself is never coming out. And the reason for that is because it was a video sponsored by a certain company around a certain time when there were some certain protests going on about certain police forces. And it all happened more or less the day of I'm meaning to go live. And I was like, nah, yeah, I appreciate how much you're offering. And like, I've done like a good months of work and we've been going back and forth and you've been telling me what to change and everything. And I would love the paycheck, but nah, I'm pulling it. Like, and I'm just saying stuff like that happens all the time. Like new controversies start and it's like, pulling the plug. Like we try our hardest. It's not as simple as here's money, do say thing. There is a lot of thought and as much care as possible that goes into it.
Am I fair to assume, Caddy, that if your YouTube channel made so much money that you would never have a sponsored ad on your videos?
Oh, well, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
I'm in the same boat. If I
But then people really love that fucking kite, so I don't know.
Well, I mean,
people love spons.
You made it work, right? Yeah. I've seen you sign more spons shit than ever in the last couple of years. But for me, you know, it's a situation where I say this, you know, I dream of a day where I don't have to have a Beard Bros Patreon. I dream of a day where I don't have to have a Completionist Patreon.
Yeah,
I dream of a day where I don't have to say yes to Raid Shadow Legends or ExpressVPN or any of those companies, because it's not that it ruins the content. You know, I generally don't think it does. There's a world where people can be entertained by ads, and you know, we've had fun this year at the Completionist with our little Shopify ads, if the brain understands what's going on.
Yeah.
But I think it's one of those things where we, you know, where I dream of those things because I want creative freedom to make what I want to make, and that is something that I admire for you. You're living the dream that I wanted for myself, which was to not feel stuck in the thing that I make. And to be clear, I love the Completionist. I love what I do. I think if you were to tell me, Jirard, you are forever cursed, you only have 10,000 views on each Completionist video, but you make a livable wage for you and your whole team, I would say these are the 10 best motherfuckers on planet Earth.
Yeah.
Y'all, I'm gonna throw a party every single year. All y'all can come to it. Like, I'm down. You know what I mean? Yeah. It would change my perspective completely. I would feel like I'd have this relief. Of just being able to live my life.
Absolutely. I know the feeling.
But for you, I think you've been able to do what you want to do. And I talk to a lot of people all the time behind closed doors, friends and family, who love to make fun of me, and they call me stubborn because they think that I'm just kind of on my ship that's slowly sinking and I'm refusing to save it. And that's hard feedback to hear from your friends and family.
And again, like what you said like earlier, it's like you were saying not a backhanded compliment, but it's a concern thing. It comes from genuine, like, people don't want to see you struggle and go through that for, you know, the whatever payout it may be. Like, because it's completing a fucking game every week, man.
I've been doing it for 12 years now.
Man.
I just thought that in that process that I would have been more famous, that I would have been more successful. And it sounds very
vain, but it's not.
Vain.
I know what you mean.
At the same time, though, like, look at the kick-ass career I've had. I've done some of the coolest shit that everyone and their mom would kill to do. And you were invited
by Bob Nintendo.
Yeah,
you were. To see the new Nintendo thing that Bob made, you know? That's crazy, just on its own.
Yeah.
But then, you know, like, life, like, you can't escape the harsh reality of things, and one of those things is money and shit. Like, even the UK right now, we're living through a cost of living crisis, is literally what it's called.
It's all of us, man. We're in a recession here in the States, and it's every day is a new
I don't
struggle.
even know if we're in a recession. It's just called the cost of living crisis. I mean, maybe it is a recession. They're trying to, like, sprinkle it. I don't know, but oh my god, I remembered what I was gonna say. That was the final boss, wasn't it?
No, one more. Go.
Okay.
Say it.
So when people, this is again finances, because you just reminded me. So finances. So what people tend to forget is that, like I said earlier, it took me from September 2011 till April 2014 to get my first paycheck, which is just over 3 years. And if you look at my output, I don't know how I made at least 150 videos in that period. I don't know how many times I was uploading a week at that point, but my first paycheck was $280 in April 2014. And I started my channel in September 2011, and it took me 3.5 years to make $280. Yeah. And I was uploading however often I was, and made however many views it was or whatever. And that was kind of what I was. So like, what people like, if you're gonna go into YouTube, don't go into it for a career. Make sure it's a hobby, so that if you make nothing, you still enjoy doing it and you like the ride. And it's like, oh, it didn't work out, it didn't reach people, but I still loved doing the thing. Like, it's a hobby. Yeah. If you can make it work, make it work. But it's a hobby foremost over anything. It's a passion thing. But then that's the funny thing, is that by the end of 2019, when I was looking for extra work, it sounds crazy, but it was like, at that point I was on 700,000 subs. Yeah. And it's like, you'd think 700,000 subs, I was pulling in decent views on my videos. Yeah. But, you know, YouTube changes, the landscape changes, how YouTube values your channel and how ad rates work change, everything changes. Yeah. So I was on a 700k sub channel pulling in minimum 1 mil, maybe 2 to 3 mil views a month, and I wasn't making enough money to pay the rent. Like, it was fucking nuts. And it's like, when you say that and put it like, hey, you need to get 700,000 subs and 3 million views a month, and you still won't pay. Like, that's insane. Yeah. But then some people can do that, because as I've learned, value on channels is different for every people. Sure. Like, somebody else with 700k subs and with all making those videos and making those views can probably do everything they want because of the kinds of videos they make and how the audience they kind of have. But with my videos specifically, and how much I was uploading everything and how short some of the videos were, and it was affecting the growth and the reach of the longer videos, basically every single part of your channel is valued, and then it accumulates into one big value. It's not as simple as get 1 million subs, get money, make 1 million views, get money. The value on videos and value of your entire channel's brand, value is what I've learned. Value of your channel. It's not about how many views you get or anything. It's about the value of the channel, because YouTube looks at the watch time, and it looks at the feedback and the likes and the comments. You know how weird and hard it is for me. And I wasn't getting that. I wasn't getting that at the end of 2019, because everything was. I kept all the people that I'd gained from 2012 onwards. Yeah. And that's awesome, and I'm glad that everyone stayed, but that's not how 2019 YouTube wanted me to do things. Yeah. And that's not how I wanted to do things. And that's the ironic thing, is that the second I stopped caring and did what the fuck I wanted to do, YouTube were like, hey, that's great. And then everything shot up, and I got 700k subs between September 2011 and September 2019. So it took me 8 years and a bit to get 700k subs. And then in the process of going from 2020 to the end of 2022, past 1 million. So 300k subs in that tiny space in comparison to all that time it took me to get that far. You know? And that's the crazy thing to me. Yeah.
I was going to say,
it's like a revival kind of thing.
Commenting on your point of content value, I know for a fact that a lot of people at YouTube who work at YouTube always use my channel as a reference point of a safe, reliable content creator.
Absolutely.
They always reference my channel, and whenever I see the reference points, I'm always like, money, please. I'm so glad that I'm your A student, but I'm going to college. I need to pay for school. So if you are so happy to use me as your A student, give me a scholarship, because I fucking earned it.
Yeah.
But anyways, enough of the YouTube bullshit. We are at the end of our journey. We did it. Caddy, thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me.
We beat the game.
I beat it all myself.
All by yourself.
All by myself.
Caddy's the new completionist now, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want my job.
I don't want that. No, I don't want that mantle. You can keep it.
I want your success and happiness to continue, my friend.
Oh, you too, dude.
Anything else you want to add before we sign out of this place?
I wasn't watching the game.
That's okay. We had a candidate interview.
Last time I looked, you got the dash power up and you won.
Yeah.
So I don't know what just happened.
That's okay.
Well done, Megaman. Well done. Well done, Megaman.
Guys, this was a chaotic episode of How Famous is Jirard? Don't know why the show is still called that, and I don't know how famous I am, but I do appreciate that I have my friend Caddy here today to share his stories and share his journey.
Thanks for inviting me, and thank you to everybody watching for giving me the opportunity and allowing me to fly out to places and see people at conventions and see friends and do these kinds of videos.
Yeah.
Like, that's the main thing stopping us half the time. It's like, I'm kind of like, I think it's like 70% or 77% of my audience is American.
Yeah.
Which I find insane. But that's what I mean. It's like all my opportunities, all my contacts and like in this sphere, they're all on this side of the world. And the better I do, the more I can make things happen magic.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, guys, that's it for us. Till the next time, we'll see you all around.
Bye-bye, Dewey.
Bye.